mindset that you had to get yourself into today, knowing that, come hell or high water, it was your game to win or lose?
Well, I think it all has to do with preparation. You embrace every day, every opportunity that you get. And Sparksy's been doing great. They're both great goalies, and in practice every single day we both compete against each other. It's a healthy competition amongst each other, and push each other, make each other better. And whenever one of us plays, we make sure that we're ready to go. And this is my third year pro now, and I make sure that my preparation stays the same and that I do the same thing every game in, game out.
Big crowd today here at home, but obviously this game was a little different because it was on local television. Obviously on the ice, I'm sure you don't notice it that much, but now that it's over, it hits you that this game was on local TV. Thousands of people saw it. You obviously played very well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm coming from college, playing at Minnesota. I'm used to it. It doesn't really affect me. I think it's great for people to be able to watch us who maybe don't know who the Solar Bears are, and they got to see a great and exciting hockey game.
The ugly sweater jerseys. You guys might not notice yet, but SportsCenter tweeted it out. It's getting some buzz nationally on social media. What do you think of the jerseys, and what do you like about being able to switch jerseys so often? It's something I know they do here at the Solar Bears.
Well, I like the jersey. I wish I could keep this one. It looks pretty cool. Even though I think one of the guys from the other team commented on how cool they are. So, it's great. Hockey is one of those sports where you can change jerseys. It doesn't affect the level of play, and it always goes towards a good cause.
I know that, as a goaltender, you pretty much focus on yourself, but the matchup tonight was you against Alan York, who is one of the better goalies in the ECHL team with a 12-2 record. Talk about, a mindset, if there is any mindset, whether, you're playing against him or are you just playing within yourself?
I just like the number one, just play within myself. Games can get pretty long, even though it's 60 minutes. They extend over 2 hours sometimes, and I just like to break it down. I always tell myself 20 minutes at a time, and even break the period down rush by rush, shot by shot, from whistle to whistle and timeout to timeout, and makes the game a lot easier for me to focus on because it's hard for anybody to focus for a full 60 minutes, and you got to be able to kind of tune in when you need to, and with pucks on the other end, be able to tune out and kind of turn that switch on when you need to.
You guys had Scott return today. Obviously, they did a little special thing for him on the jumbotron. What does him being not just on the ice but also on the bench now do for this team, chemistry-wise and just attitude-wise?
Well, he's a positive influence in the locker room. He's a great locker room guy. Really gets the guys going. Keeps a good attitude in the locker room, and works hard on and off the ice, and it shows out there. And he has a lot of passion for the game.
What was it like having the team owner on the bench tonight as an assistant coach working with the defense? Is that something you've ever run into before? And what was it like working with him on the bench?
Well, I didn't really work with him on the bench just because I was in the net the whole time. Haven't had a chance yet to speak with the guys, ask them how it was, but I think it's awesome that he was able to get that experience under his belt and be able to see what it's like firsthand on the bench and what we go through from game to game.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good job tonight.
Thank you.
In the game, you guys really really felt different tonight.
I thought there was a ton of energy from our group. I thought it started the morning skate. I thought it really started yesterday at the end of our practice coming back. I thought, that's what really started and then carried on into today. And I thought first period and even at the end of our morning skate today, the enthusiasm was great. We're a very upbeat group, very energetic, and I thought it carried on to tonight's game for sure.
Talk about Ken Patterson tonight. Obviously put in a position where he was the go-to goalie tonight, and he probably had one of his best performances all season.
He was outstanding. He really stepped up, and that's what happens when you lose a player to call up. Someone has to step up and fill the void, and Ken stepped up and played very, very well for us. He made some big saves at some key times, and he was tremendous for us tonight. Really, really settled it down. I thought he was composed in the net, and nothing seemed to bother him, and he was excellent.
That second goal from Florida was shorthanded.
Yep.
Your team has given up 8 shorthanded goals
Yep.
this season. Kind of not a nice stat you want to have. So what is it about penalty kills that hurting you?
Well, you know, it's all true. It's a very true statement. It's not something that we wanna have, but we've got some high end skilled players that are going to try to make some plays. I think it took I'd have to look at it again on the video, but I think it took a bad bounce. A couple of the other ones were bad bounces, and you're right. A couple of the other ones earlier in the year were giveaways, were some poor plays. But that happens in the game of hockey, so. You deal with it, but it didn't really rattle us very much. I mean, we stayed composed. I think that was a big thing when we were very composed on our bench, didn't rattle us. We just stayed the course. And those things happen in hockey, and we need to tighten up a little bit in that area. But I think it hit I have to look at it again, and the guys came back and said it hit something, or it was a bad piece of ice, and that happens in the game. You know what? And they capitalized on it, and that's the way it goes. But I think the most important thing is that we stayed composed.
Greg Miller back in the lineup tonight, puts up a goal and assist like he never left. Talk about how having him back in the lineup is key to the next kind of stretch of games going, because now he's back and he's still going to be that go-to scorer.
Yeah, he's a go-to guy, but I think the most important thing that Greg Miller, besides that, is his leadership, his ability in the locker room too to settle things down, and his ability to play the 200-foot game. Like, he's a great defensive player. He's one of the guys out there at the end of the game to win the draw. He blocks shots. He does all the intangibles extremely well. Yes, the scoring is a big part of his game, but he does so many other things well that help our team moving forward. He's a big piece to our puzzle. There's no question about it.
Okay, and got to ask,
Sure.
What was it like having team owner Joe Haleski on the bench with you?
Oh, he was fabulous. I mean, Joe's got some great hockey experience. Joe was great. I mean, he did a great job with the defenseman. I thought he was excellent. I mean, it was great. I've known Joe for a while, and it was excellent. It was a lot of I enjoyed working with Joe, and it was great on the bench. It was a lot of personal enjoyment there, and I know Joe had a great time, and it's great. And he was excellent. He managed the D to a T, and I thought he did a great job.
What's it been like having essentially a rotation of assistant coaches helping you out? Started with Piero Greco and Scott Pellerin, and now Joe tonight. What's it been like trying to keep a continuity going through these three different personalities?
They're all, and you're right, Don. They're all different personalities, but they all bring something different to the table that help us in our with our group. And they've been, like I said, they've been all good to work with, and like I said, they bring different things. But I think it just kind of flows in. I have to keep it, the ship going in the right direction, and they kind of just support. And they were all three were very, very good.
In this game with City as a hockey town.
Well, I think our ownership group and our, with Joe and Jason and our entire group. Do a wonderful job in getting out in the community and doing those things to promote the game, and it's a real important part. And they've made the Solar Bears it's a brand, and they've done a wonderful job, and it helps. I mean, it's tremendous for our fans, and changing the jerseys all the time. It's great for them.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anything else? Good.